Columbus Red Cross orientation. I'm going to go ahead and get us started right now by sharing my screen. My name is Leo Dubois, and I am the Workforce Engagement Coordinator for the Greater Columbus Red Cross chapter. So I'm going to go to our PowerPoint right now. And this is the Columbus, Ohio Red Cross Disaster Cycle Services Volunteer Orientation. And I just want to welcome you and thank you for taking part of this orientation and joining our chapter and beginning your journey with the Red Cross. Why do we exist? The American Red Cross prevents, alleviates human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers like yourself and the generosity of donors. Who we are. Founded in 1881 by Clara Barton, we received a federal charter in 1900 as well as in 1905. The Red Cross is an independent, nonprofit, tax-exempt, charitable institution, dependent on the generosity of donors to fund our operations. Also dependent on volunteers like yourself to implement disaster relief efforts. Approximately 90% of our workforce are all volunteers. Here you can see CSOR. CSOR is the Central and Southern Ohio region. This is the region that the Greater Columbus chapter belongs to. And this map, as you can see, it is in green. That is the Greater Columbus, Ohio chapter. The CSOR region, Central and Southern Ohio region, is made up of Miami Valley chapter, Greater Cincinnati, East Central Ohio and South Central Ohio, as well as the Greater Columbus chapters, as you can see in the different colors here. Feel free to pause if you'd like to see the different counties that make up our CSOR, which is Central Southern Ohio region. Different opportunities. Mass Care Group. One of the areas in mass care is sheltering. There are various different areas in mass care, but sheltering is one of the primary ones. Shelters provide a safe and secure place for individuals and families to stay during and after disaster, and the Red Cross brand is widely recognized as a symbol of refuge. Other areas, disaster health services. Disaster health service responders provide disaster health care by meeting the disaster-related health needs of clients and providing support to other volunteers. And another opportunity that we're going to look at today is a disaster action team. The disaster action team helps to respond to like home fires and other disasters which can occur at any time and any place. As a disaster action team volunteer, you'll provide emotional support, financial assistance, and information to help families begin the process of recovery. And those are just a few different types of opportunities that are available. Red Cross systems. Volunteer connection, which is your key link to the Red Cross. You should have already received a name and a password to log in to Volunteer Connection. The name that you'll utilize for this is the email address that you first registered with the Red Cross. Your password would have been sent to you to that email address. If you have not received that yet, please let me know. My information will be at the end of this. As you can see, if you log in at volunteerconnection.redcross.org, this is where you would enter that information to be able to log in to Volunteer Connection. The Volunteer Connection homepage. We will go through a full demonstration of the Volunteer Connection, but for right now, we're just going to go over a short little tiny description of what you're going to see. One of the things that you'll see right center of the page, which is circled here on this little picture, is the add hours. You should add any hours or volunteer hours that you do anything with the Red Cross. That could include going in and donating blood or platelets. If you do any EDGE training courses, and we'll go over EDGE in a moment, that is our training program for the Red Cross. If you do anything virtual or in person in meetings or discussions, you should count that time as well as volunteer time. If you travel, let's say you're going to the chapter or going somewhere for the Red Cross, count that travel time as well. If you make or receive phone calls pertinent to Red Cross, anything that deals with Red Cross, you should count that time as well. And then if you send or receive any emails. To capture that information, you would click that button in the middle and click Add Hours. It'll bring up another screen, and we'll demonstrate that in a moment. And on that screen, you'll want to select the amount of hours or minutes, which you can put in 15, 30, or 45-minute increments. If you do put in minutes only with no hours, make certain to put 0 in the hours box, and we will show you that in a second. You also have the option of doing worked or on call. Always select worked. And then you would just choose which position you're working in. You should have a position called training. If you were DAT, it would be a DAT responder trainee. If you're mass care, it would be mass care trainee, and then you can click submit. And we'll go into more details those in just one moment. Also on the volunteer connection, there's different tabs. There's my profile, my groups, my shifts, and an opportunities tab. Under my profile, this is where you can update your email address, your physical address, and different information. Feel free to browse at your own leisure. Under my groups, that's where you can find your specific group. So if you're in mass care, you can find the mass care group there, which would have your leadership and people that you can contact that are on your team. If you're on the DAT team as well, you would have a my groups group that would be for the Greater Columbus DAT chapter or DAT group, and you can see who is in leadership in that group. My shifts, think of my shifts as a calendar, and we will go over that in the demonstration in a moment. And then the opportunities tab is where you can look and see other opportunities that are available to volunteers or staff with the American Red Cross. The edge. The edge right now just got circled. It's below your picture, and I'll show you how to upload your picture. And so it's right there in a red circle, and the edge is our electronic training portal. You access that through Volunteer Connection, and then you just find your picture if you've uploaded it, and right below that is the edge, and that's how you get into the edge. When you're in the Edge, that will be a separate page. You should have received an email from your coordinator. If you don't receive that email within a day or so, please let me know, and I'll make certain that you get it right away. That email will outline which courses are required for you to achieve your GAP. GAP stands for Group Activity Position, and that is what you achieve after completing the courses that are required for whichever role that you wish to volunteer with the Red Cross. If you go in the upper right-hand side, there's a search bar. You can copy and paste from the email, find the specific course, and then go ahead and sign up and take that course. And we'll demonstrate that in a moment as well. But as an overview, you can see here that you can look up your transcript, which will have a record of all the courses that you've taken. I always recommend that you take Welcome to Edge. It's a class, and you can just type that in the search bar, and that'll give you the really good introduction to what the Edge is all about. Edge is designed to work with Chrome internet browser. As always, if you have any issues, hardware or software wise, you can always contact the IT service desk. Their phone number is 888-778-7762. You don't need to worry about writing that down at this time. If you would like, you could always come back to this video and just page over to this page and check that out if you need that. But always contact your coordinator first or myself, and we can try to help you through the issue. And if we can't, then we will get you that number once again to contact the IT service desk. The exchange. This is the information portal. Right below your picture is the edge, and below that is the button for the exchange. And how I like to talk about the exchange is the Google of Red Cross. All the information about the Red Cross is on the exchange. While you're taking your courses on the edge, quite often it'll say At this time, go to the Exchange and download the toolkit. The toolkit is a set of instructions on how to perform a function that Red Cross teams perform. And it's really nice because it's step by step. And so it's really good to have those toolkits just so that you know exactly how to perform any type of function. But you'll get more information about that while you take your classes, and you'll better understand it when you first download it after your course. But we just want you to understand where to get into the Exchange. And this is where you'd get into the Exchange. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to go back, and we're going to do a demonstration right now. So let's go into there we go, into my volunteer connection page. As you can see, here's my picture. I go by Leo, but my real name is Leonard, and so there's my picture right there. And as you can see, here is my profile. Let's go over and show you how to upload your picture. So if you go to my profile and you click that, and yes, it does take a couple of minutes. There we go. Here you can see my name. Here's my membership number for Red Cross. And then this little up arrow, if you put your cursor on there, it'll say upload a profile image. That profile image is really important because this is where you can also print your ID badge. So whichever picture you put in there, that's what your badge is going to look like. Here you can edit your address, which is very important. And I always like to go over the directory options. You have the option to edit this directory options section. A volunteer who's looking up another volunteer can only see very limited information. If you ever want to play around with this, go ahead and look up my name sometime. My name is Leonard Dubois, and you'll just see very limited information. And if you choose, you can hide like your phone number or your cell phone number from other volunteers. And that's where you would do this for. There's some volunteers that like to keep those things private, but always remember coordinators and above will always be able to see that information. Now I'm going to, at your leisure, go ahead and scroll through and look at the rest of this. Here's where you can edit your email address and your phone number, but I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to the bottom because you can take your own time and go through that and look through it. It's just very interesting information. All the way at the bottom is GAP, and this is what we were talking about before, is group activity position. Once you've completed, let's say you're going for your DAT, your disaster action team, and this is the GAP for DAT. And so once you've completed all of your courses, you'll receive a GAP, a group activity position, and then that means you can now be part of that team and perform those functions. If you're in anything else other than DAT, and we're going to get up to there, if you're in mass care sheltering or in other of the mass care positions or health services, spiritual care, anything other than disaster action team, uh, we actually let people know that we want to respond through here. It's called the disaster responder availability. Now, the DAD team, disaster action team, signs up for on a calendar that's a specialized program that you'll be trained in when you go through your induction with the DAD team. But for the mass care people and the other, everybody else other than DAD, then this is where you would go. And this is under my profile all the way into the bottom, and then just come up slightly, and you'll see disaster responder availability. Now, only fill this out once you've completed all of your training. And what you can do here is you can select whether you want to deploy in the region, which if you remember that map that I showed you in the beginning, that's our region, which is CSOR, Central and Southern Ohio region. You can deploy only in the state of Ohio, within our division, or national. I like to deploy national. As you can see here, I have my availability date set up, and I'm saying I can go anywhere in the United States. Now, there's also another option, and that's virtual. A virtual deployment is where you stay at home and you are working 8 to 10 hours a day on a disaster relief operation, but virtually from your computer, assisting the team. Now, once you've had your GAP, your group activity position, and you go ahead and set your availability, once a month, you want to come in and click Confirm Availability. And you see here it says Availability Confirmed. And that's how you do this. And that's how you let us know where you want to go, if you want to go anywhere, and deploy for a DRO, a disaster relief operation. So at your leisure, just go ahead and look through this section. I'm going to go ahead back to the homepage of Volunteer Connection. Let's go to My Shifts. Now, My Shifts, I like to use View All. When you go into View All, you can see the entire calendar. Now, mine's got a lot of stuff on it. That's because I'm regional, and so I can see things from other chapters. Yours will have all of this. But as you can see, here's an event that's coming up. It says Greater Columbus Orientation, Virtual Edition. Here's another meeting for the mass care team that's coming up on the 3rd. So to join one of these meetings, all you would do is you would click on it. And I'm going to do this one because I'm not registered for it, so you can see where I would enter my name. This has all your information. Here's the Microsoft Teams link. If you copy from this HTTPS over, copy and paste that into your window. Well, not that they added the phone stuff onto it. You don't want that. You only want it up to here. This would open up it in Teams and allow you to see it. Or if you want audio only, you can call this phone number and use this ID number, and then that would bring you in through your phone. To register, you're just going to select what you want your hours for. So for you, you would have a trainee position. Go ahead and select that trainee position and then click register, and your name would show up in the attendees list. That's all you need to do to register. You'll receive an email reminder that you registered for the event. As well, it's going to show up right here under your My Calendar, right next to where you add your hours. And so you can see that here. So as you can see, tomorrow I've got a couple of events, and then I had an event today. And I can just click on that event, and that will take me right to all the information. All right, that is My Shifts, which is our calendar. Now let's go to, here's our picture. If we upload it, right below that is the edge. And this is the most important thing for you at this time, because you want to get through your training classes so that you can get awarded your GAP, your group activity position, and become part of the team. So we're going to click on the edge, and we're going to open up the edge. Here's our edge, which is our training program. As you can see, like I showed you in the demonstration before, here's our search is right here. You can also search here, and here's your transcript. So we're going to go ahead and type in DAT responder in the search. Remember, you should have received an email, and that email should outline all the different training that you need to achieve the gap that you would like to take on as your journey with us in the Red Cross. Okay, so a set of books is a curriculum. If you were to open this curriculum, it would show you a whole grouping of courses that you need to complete. The first level is always service associate. And how I like to explain this is a service associate is the person that's working directly with our clients or our neighbors. A supervisor is a volunteer who has experience and time in the role and understands the role and can teach new people coming in. So a supervisor is working with teaching and working with service associates. And then a manager. A manager is somebody who sits in the office and is usually outlining schedules and running reports. And they have very little interaction with the clients because that's the role for the supervisors and the service associate. So those are the 3 different levels, but the most important for you right now is to complete your service associate. Down the line, if you're interested in becoming a supervisor, definitely let your coordinator know, and you can take the courses at any time you choose. The other different types of courses are ones that look like a computer screen. The first 2 to 3 minutes is instructions on how to complete the course, and it's very self-explanatory. The other is a play button in the middle, and that's a video. If you watch the video, make certain at the end of the video that you click right below it where it says, click here to show that you've completed the video. That'll give you the credit. If you forget to do that, you might have to watch the video again and then click that button so that you get credit for that video. As you move up from service associate to more advanced classes, some of the classes are a calendared event, but we're not going to worry about those right now. But down the line, if you do choose to move up to a supervisor or higher, then there's classes that are in person that you have to sign up on a calendar. So that's the basics of the Edge, which is our training program, as you can see here. As you're taking your courses, as you open it, it'll come here so that you can actually see it. And then if you open the curriculum, if you've already started it, it'll show you the percentage that you're completed. As in this course here for staff training, I'm missing one course. And that's a calendar course. And that's what I'm waiting on. And so once that's completed, this will be 100%. So that's the Edge. Let's go ahead and go back to Volunteer Connection. The next thing we want to look at is the Exchange. If you remember my picture, so hopefully your picture will be there. Once you upload it, you'll see the Edge, and below Edge is the Exchange. I'm not going to open the Exchange, but your instructions to your courses will let you know when to do this. And you go into the Exchange and you can find the different toolkits. If you're ever interested in reading up on more information on any topic within the Red Cross, the Exchange is where you would find that at. And you can also find it in multi-languages. Most of the course material on the Edge and on the Exchange is in Spanish and in English and in some other languages as well. Just do a search on that. As you can see here, as well as the IT service desk, if you ever need that information. But always ask your coordinator or myself first, and we can assist you just in case it's a common issue. Now, once you've taken your courses on the Edge, if you remember, we talked about your volunteer hours, and this is very important for us. We love to track your hours and we love to see what you're doing and seeing that you're being engaged and enjoying what you're doing. Best way for us to do that is to see that you're turning your hours in. So if you click this, add hours, and right after this video, I'd like you to go ahead and do that and click on today's date. If you ever forget, because sometimes you might get too busy and at the end of the week, you just want to go ahead and do the rest of the week, you can go onto the calendar. But for today, I'm going to do this right here. If you're only putting in hours or in minutes, because you can do 15, 30, or 45, you do need to put 0 hours because it'll see a little red star. It says, oh, there's nothing in this field. So make sure there's a 0 in there if you're only doing minutes. If you're doing hours, you don't need to worry about that. On the activity name, you'll want to put orientation. Hours typed. You want to use worked, not on call. Just go ahead and put in worked. And then on the position, you'll have a trainee position. So go ahead and find your trainee position. So let's say you're on the DAT team, disaster action team. Then what you would want to do is go ahead and put in here disaster action team trainee. It'll already be there. You just have to find the position. If you're in mass care, you'll have a mass care trainee position. Down the line, if you have multiple gaps, group activity positions, you'll want to choose whatever you were doing for that specific area. So if it was a DAT class or a DAT event, disaster action team event, then you would want to select DAT. If it was a mass care event, then you'd want to select your mass care gap. Also, when you're taking training in the Edge, feel free, if you're taking 4 or 5 classes at one time, to just go ahead and put in the total time and then just put Edge courses for whatever it was for. If it was for DAT or anything of that, or mass care, whatever the classes were for. Or you can also just do class by class. Some people like to do it individually just so they can see, and some will just put it all together. Either way works for us. If you do it one by one, we've made it very simple. You click submit and add another. This will reopen this window up again. Or if you lump it all together, then all you gotta do is click submit hours and you're done, and they'll close the screen once it's added those hours. And that's how you add your hours. So remember, always add your hours for anything that you do for the Red Cross. Whether you're traveling, you're taking Edge courses, you're on a phone call, you're on a meetings, you're reading emails. We just really want to see how we're engaging with you and you're engaging with us. And it really helps us to track those things. And we'll go into more details, or your coordinator will, down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back. And we're going to stop sharing that screen and we're going to go back to our PowerPoint. All right, we left off on the Exchange. Connecting with your coordinator. Your coordinator can answer questions, offer support with Red Cross systems, or connect you with the experts. Share their perspective and talk about what deployments or DAT shifts are like. Serve as your lifeline and ongoing contact when you have questions. Always feel free to contact your coordinator, myself, or the disaster program manager or disaster program specialist. Ways to engage: video conferencing. Microsoft Teams is the preferred video conferencing platform for the Red Cross. There is a mobile app and a desktop app, so you can download it on your phone and download it on your desktop as well. We also use a platform called WebEx, and that's for some online meetings from national headquarters, but don't be too concerned about that at this time. Both platforms have alternative call-in only features using your phone. So if you're ever driving and you just want to listen to a meeting, you're always welcome to use the call-in feature so you can listen to what's going on and stay in the know of what the new stuff is happening. Be on the lookout for email invitations to upcoming engagement opportunities. Watch the My Shifts, remember that's the calendar, tab on Volunteer Connection for events and meetings. CSOAR, Central and Southern Ohio Region Disaster Dispatch. That's a newsletter that comes out once a month and lets you know about upcoming events. And stay connected with your coordinator. I can't emphasize enough how important the coordinator is to your journey. Your coordinator can let you know about upcoming events and will probably send you emails reminding you. Your keys to success: be patient. Patience always wins. We're going to get through it no matter what it is, but just be very patient and be flexible. Flexibility is just such a key to success that things will happen. Sometimes computers break down, sometimes there's an update to a course that you just took. Things like this happen, but just be flexible. And kindness: this is the American Red Cross, and we're very kind to each other. We respect our fellow volunteers, we respect the clients and the neighbors that we work with. So, kindness is so important. Communications: keep up with emails. You will get emails from your coordinator, you'll get emails from the chapter. There's not a lot of emails, but do keep up with those emails. And if ever you have questions or issues or concerns, please communicate. Let your coordinator know. Let the disaster program manager, disaster program specialist, or myself, the workforce engagement coordinator, know, and we will work with you. We're here as one team to help you on this journey with the American Red Cross. Take ownership of your volunteer experience. Get your training done, if possible, within 30 days. So just jump right into those classes when you get them. As you're excited, you'll get through them really quick. They might seem like there's a lot of classes, but there really isn't. When you see that there are a lot of them are videos and pretty well written programs. They go very quick. And then ask questions. Write down your questions as you're taking your classes and let your coordinator know, hey, I would love to know why this is this way. Those are the greatest things to ask, because then we can show you in person while you're out on a DAT run, a disaster action team run, on one night, and just show you, here it's why we do it this way. Stay connected with your coordinator. We can't say that enough. You just constantly just let your coordinator know what's going on, and they'll be very excited. Coordinators do set up once a month meetings with their entire team. So always feel welcome to come to those meetings, ask your questions, and just enjoy your experience. Thank you so much for taking this orientation. If you would, complete the form to tell us that you finished your orientation. The link for the form is below in the description. Please complete the form to let me know that you've completed this, and I'll get you credit, and you'll receive an email congratulating you on completing this orientation and letting your coordinator know that you've completed it. As well, stay tuned for additional information. Additional information. Ongoing volunteer opportunities. Many Red Cross volunteers work to support their community and their country year-round. Local disaster action teams respond to home fires and local disasters to provide individual assistance. Mass care team members open and support shelters during larger and multi-family events at home and all around the United States. Health services workers help meet client needs every day to replace prescriptions, medical equipment, dentures, and even eyeglasses. Caseworkers provide immediate assistance, advocacy, and recovery planning as neighbors recover from disasters. You'll be provided an opportunity to learn more about these opportunities. If you'd like to learn more about these opportunities now, please contact me, Leo Leonard Dubois, as the Workforce Engagement Coordinator, and my email is leonard.dubois@redcross.org. O-R-G. You can also contact your coordinator and the Disaster Program Manager, Disaster Program Specialist. Across lines of business, disaster cycle services, and that's what you're volunteering with today. There is also biomedical, which is blood services. There's services to the armed forces and international services. There's volunteer services, and there's community services as well as other programs. Questions? If you have questions or need additional support, your coordinator is your best resource. We talked about the form. So at this time, this orientation is complete. So fill out the form. If you have questions at this time, feel free to put them on the form and I will get back to you immediately. Also, this orientation is available what we call VILT, Virtual Instructor-Led Training. And that would be me and you meeting in a Teams channel and talking about these things and going over them step by step. If you do and would prefer to have a virtual instructor-led training of the orientation, please let me know as well on the form. Other than that, I want to thank you for starting your journey with the American Red Cross and being a part of the Greater Columbus team. We truly appreciate what you're going to do in the future in helping our neighbors and our clients through a very difficult time. Thank you so much.